I'm about to say something some people won't like. The United States government took 2,687 acres of land from black families in Georgia, promised to give it back, and more than 80 years later, it's still gone.
Imagine your great-great-grandparents bought land. Good land. 2,687 acres on the coast of Georgia. Beautiful land. They farmed it, raised families on it, built a church, a school, a community. In this video, we're going to Harris Neck, Georgia, to see what was taken, why it was never returned, and what it means to protect your land today. I'm Rondia, and this is From Chains to Change. If Black history and land stories matter to you, hit subscribe and let's go to Harris Neck.
Now imagine the government came in 1942 and said, "We need this for the war. We'll give it back when we're done." They took it. They used it for 1 year.
And 83 years later, they still haven't given it back.
That's Harris Neck, Georgia. And today I'm going to tell you why Commandment number 3 says, buy land and hold it. Because if you don't know this story, you'll lose yours too. Let me take you back. After slavery ended in 1865, freed black families in McIntosh County, Georgia did what our elders told us to do. They bought land. Not borrowed, not rented, owned. By the 1940s, 75 black families owned 2,687 acres at Harris Neck. That's over 4 square miles of coastal Georgia land. They weren't sharecroppers. They weren't tenants. They were landowners. They grew crops, raised livestock, built St. Cyprian's Episcopal Church, still standing today. They had their own school, their own economy. This was black wealth, black sovereignty, black land. And you know what happened when black people got land? White folks got nervous. December 7, 1941, Pearl Harbor, America goes to war.
And in 1942, the U.S. government comes to Harris Neck and says, "We need your land to build an airfield. It's for the war. We'll pay you fair market value. And when the war is over, we'll give it back."
They didn't ask. They took it. That's eminent domain.
75 black families forced off 2,687 acres.
Now here's what they didn't tell you in history class. The government paid black landowners an average of $26.90 per acre. White landowners nearby, they got $37 and $31 per acre.
Even when they stole from us, they paid us less. But that's not even the worst part.
The Harris Neck Airfield, it was operational for 1 year, 1943 to 1944.
1 year.
Then the war moved on. The military didn't need it anymore. So in 1945, when the war ended, those 75 black families said, "Okay, give us our land back. You said temporary. The war is over." And the government said, "No."
In 1962, instead of returning the land to the families, the federal government transferred it to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. They turned it into the Harris Neck National Wildlife Refuge. Let me say that again. They took land from black families for a 1-year airfield, then turned it into a bird sanctuary.
Our ancestors lost their land, so pelicans could have a home. The families tried to fight. But here's the trap. In 1980, a statute of limitations kicked in. That means after a certain number of years, you can't sue anymore. The government ran out the clock. And the families? Most of them are gone now. The descendants are scattered across Georgia, Florida, up north. But they never stopped fighting.
In 2007, 65 years later, McIntosh County, Georgia issued an official apology. An apology. Not the land, not reparations, an apology.
In 2020, the county signed a memorandum of understanding to explore options for returning the land. That was 5 years ago. And as of January 2025, the land still hasn't been returned. The Harris Neck Land Trust, the descendants, they're not even asking for all 2,687 acres. They're asking for 500 acres, less than 20% of what was stolen. Just enough to rebuild the community, honor the ancestors, teach the children, and the government still won't give it back. Now here's what they don't want you to know. Harris Neck wasn't the only place. During World War II, the U.S. government seized over 20,000 acres of black-owned land for military use. Camp Shelby, Mississippi. Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Tuskegee Airmen Training Grounds, Alabama. And just like Harris Neck, when the war ended, they never gave it back. This is commandment number 3. Buy land and hold it. Because if you don't know the law, if you don't have a lawyer, if you don't have documentation, they will take it, and they will never give it back. So let me ask you, are we holding the land today? In 1920, Black Americans owned 15 million acres of farmland. By 1997, we owned 2.5 million acres. We lost 98% of our farmland in less than 100 years. That's $300 billion in wealth, gone. And it's still happening. Right now, in 2025, Hog Hummock, Sapelo Island, Georgia, the last Gullah Geechee community, families being taxed and zoned out of their ancestral land. Heir property, 60% of black-owned land has no clear title. That means your children can't inherit it. Developers can swoop in and take it. This is why our elders said, buy land and hold it, not just buy it, hold it. That means, get a lawyer, make a will, document everything. Pay your property taxes. Don't let them take it for $200 in back taxes. Teach your children the value of that land. Never sell to the first developer who knocks on your door with cash. Because Harris Neck teaches us, if you don't fight for your land, they will take it, and they will never give it back. So here's what I need you to do. 1. Learn the Harris Neck story. Share it. Teach it. Don't let them bury it. 1. If your family owns land, get a lawyer. Document the deed. Create a family land trust. Protect it. 1. Support the Harris Neck Land Trust. They're still fighting, 83 years later. 1. Comment below. What commandment are we breaking the most today? Is it number 3, holding the land? Or is it something else? Because these 10 commandments weren't just for survival after slavery. They're for survival right now. Next week, I'm going to tell you about commandment number 4, protect your family. And I'm going to show you how mass incarceration is the new slavery.
Subscribe, hit that bell. Don't miss it our next video. This is Rondia Kaufer from Chains to Change.
And we're not done yet.
Please subscribe, hit that like button and notification bell so that you don't miss our next video, because we can't do this alone.